It didn't start that way, though, as the number 7 Kawasaki of Jeff Matasevich got a hole shot. Jeff led his 3rd consecutive Supercross main event, but Bale, riding Honda number 8 and hoping to make good on the promise that he'd win more races once the pressure of the championship chase was lifted, quickly closed in. First change of leadership, a heart-stopper. In the Paris-style section of the Coliseum course, Bale showed Matasevich one of those in-your-face kind of moves that's always worth another look. He set it up by riding the rail to get momentum and then in your face, like I said. But Matasevich passed him back and set up this test of courage over the whoops that line the far sideline. Looks like a simple case of who can hold it open longer, but at the end of the straight, Matasevich actually went in deeper and harder, and that's where JMB foxed him on the outside and took the lead for good. Now behind them, Jeff Stanton with his last ride as number 1, at least for a while. Dethroned by a shoulder separation. He was battling for 2nd in the standings with this guy, Damon Bradshaw. Crashed, got up, came back to 6th, and took that position away from Stanton by 1 point. This despite the fact that Stanton eventually put Matasevich behind him to take 2nd. That relegated number 7 to 3rd. And behind him comes Mike Kudrowski on another Kawasaki. Number 4 finishes 4th. 5th and 6th was one of the best battles of the night. Number 15, Doug Dubach, upset winner a week ago at San Jose, went at it big time with Mike LaRocco. Look at the intensity of that position fight. They did this a long time before Dubach finally prevailed. LaRocco stumbled and finished 17th. Up front, no touching Bale. He streaked to his 8th win of the season and thus a total blitz at the 1991 Camel Supercross Championship. Here's a look at the final top 5 in a series that opened in Orlando, Florida, way back in January. Now the final standings for that 91 Camel Supercross Series highlight this week's edition of the Honda scoreboard. Bale had long since clinched the crown, but the race for 2nd stayed close all the way to the end. And there you see Bradshaw's final margin over Stanton. The 125cc main event won by Jeff Emig over Steve Lamson and Phil Lawrence. And in the absence of the series champ Jeremy McGrath, having clinched the LA Coliseum Supercross, Chris Larson has the story.
These riders had a little more on their minds than the season-ending show at the Los Angeles Coliseum. This was the $25,000 Camel Challenge Shootout. Last year's winner, number 18, Jeff Emig, gets out of the gates first and proves to the crowd that this would be his night. The season's battle had come down to a fight for 2nd between Emig and the Peak Honda of Steve Lamson. Unfortunately for number 29 Lamson, the Camel Challenge would be an omen for his night in L.A. This crash would cost him any shot at the $10,000 winner's purse. In a race pitting the best in the West against the top offerings from the East, only Brian Swink could take a shot at Emig. Swink, the East Coast champ, put his Honda right behind Emig, but never got closer than 2 or 3 bike lengths. Emig takes home his 2nd straight Camel Challenge win, not to mention the $10 grand that goes with the victory. But the California rider knew he had to put all that behind him. The evening wasn't over yet. After a brief celebration before the crowd, he's congratulated by his dad, his team manager, and chief mechanic. The Yamaha rider would then go on to win the 125 main and clinch the 2nd spot in the Western region. The final tally from the Camel Challenge has Emig on top, East Coast champ Swink 2nd, followed by Jimmy Button, Buddy Antunez, and Michael Craig. The season-ending